All right, cool. Congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you,
Pleasure
sir.
to see you.
Pleasure.
Well, first of all, I want to ask you, because obviously we know Jim Gordon, like Gary Oldman, Pat Hingle
Sure.
from the original films. Is there an element of watching them, and I know this is a pre version of Jim Gordon, but do you watch Gary Oldman and kind of get his mannerisms, or do you kind of stay away from that?
No, because I mean, you know, just as I'm sure Gary Oldman probably didn't watch Pat Hingle,
Right.
you know, it's not so much doing an impression of anybody, because I think I come from the school of acting where there is no such thing as character. There's only the words in the script, and then there's the actor. Because each actor's interpretation of you know, if 1,000 actors did Hamlet, there would be 1,000 different Hamlets. There have been, because Hamlet doesn't exist. Not to get too esoteric about it, but like that's the truth. So when I was cast, I asked Jeff Johns, who runs DC, like, what do I need to know about Jim? And he sent me a bunch of literature, and we went to lunch. And he, at the end of it, he just said, you know, look, this guy hasn't been seen at this chapter of his life ever on screen. So do your job. Like, go out, interpret it as you see fit. Work with Bruno Heller, the writer, and the directors of each episode, and create this character anew in a way, which is really exciting and a real honor.
Is there a path that they want to get to the current Jim Gordon? Is that the idea of us getting there eventually?
Yeah, one of the things that I think is cool about the show is that what you're basically seeing over many seasons is the ascendancy of Jim Gordon to the top of the police ranks, and the descendance of Gotham into total chaos and anarchy. So as he rises up and becomes more and more successful and powerful within the Gotham society and the Gotham Police Department, the city falls apart. And the way that he's working his way up is not actually by being a true, he's a hero, but he has to figure out how to work with the powers that be, the crime families that run Gotham, the villains that are around. So it's a complicated kind of moral terrain that he's entering into. So it's really fun. It's a great premise for a show.
Now looking back at the OC, and then I know it's a totally different concept, but you look at the OC, and then you go to Southland, and now you do this.
Right.
How has television changed for you over those years? What have you noticed the biggest differences and similarities are from television back when you started the OC versus now?
It's amazing how much it's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, I've really only been doing it a decade, you know, and it's changed like just drastically. I mean, for example, they're releasing Gotham all over the world pretty much, you know, at the same time. This fall it'll be on in Europe and Asia, South America, all over, because I think the way that people watch shows or consume content has just changed completely.
It's a binging thing.
Well, you can watch it on your phone, you can watch it on an iPad, you can watch it on your computer, maybe you watch it on TV, but at this point, you know, it's streamed digitally into every house or device all over the world. So all of those old formats are just becoming obsolete, and people can just watch whatever they want to watch, and the feedback is immediate. They either watch it or they don't.
Yeah.
So we'll know, you know, in a couple of weeks whether this thing is going to be on for a while or.
It's gonna be huge. Batman's huge, and regardless, it's gonna be awesome, and it looks great.
So. Yeah.
Do you miss characters? Like, for example, you played the character in OC for many, many years.
Yeah.
Played the character in Southland for many, many years.
Yeah.
Now you're taking on Jim Gordon. Do you miss these people when you leave them? Because like you take them on for so long. Do you ever like take on any of their mannerisms or their characteristics at all?
I mean, I'm not much of a guy for like burning a scented candle and sort of trying to sort of imagine the spirit of one of the characters. But because again, like going back to it's like there's a script and there's who I am, and that's the character, right? Like if a writer writes a scene with a different objective in mind, and I play that scene honestly, that will come out, and it will be a different person because they are doing something in a different set of circumstances. So I learn from each of the characters that I played. Like I think that's what's beautiful and kind of empathetic about acting, is that you actually get to try to experience what someone else might experience and why people make the decisions that they make emotionally, which hopefully brings you closer to understanding other people's points of view. Yeah. But I don't like shed a tear for them. I think at the end of the day, like, I'm that character and that character and this character and none of them. You know? Because if somebody else had been cast, they would have interpreted them.